Hello vinyl community and music community, how you doing? It's Matt and I'm back for another video, and as you can see from the title, and I know there won't be probably a lot of tons of views for this video, because it seems like when you do a video on like a power pop band or some different band that a lot of people haven't heard of that much, you know, a lot of people aren't interested in that, and I understand that, but I know there's a lot of power pop and rock and roll fans out there like me that really like some of these underground rock and power pop bands that are so talented, so great, and they may never have received national or international fame or attention like some of the bigger bands of the day that we know, but they certainly deserved it. They certainly had the chops, the talent, the songwriting skills, and the singing ability. And one of those bands is the Flashcubes, okay? And as you can see, I'm wearing my Flashcubes official t-shirt today. The Flashcubes. Now, you're probably saying, Matt, who in the world are the Flashcubes? Now, unless you're into this kind of rock and roll and power pop, folks, you've probably never heard of them. This is a band that you would never even guess would be in Matt's they're probably in my top 10 or 15 musical artists of all time. That's how much I love this band. That's how talented they are. That's how great they are. That's how important I think they are. And this is a band, when you see the bands out there between the mid-70s and the mid-80s who made international fame, and you compare any of them to this band, I'm going to tell you right now, this band blows them out of the water and should have been bigger and more famous than any of those artists from 75 to 85, 86 or so. I'm sorry. They're that good. They're worth it. Okay, I'm holding their second single here, an original copy of their second single called Wait Till Next Week. I just thought I'd show you that real quick before I go on. Now, the Flashcubes, if you're from upstate and western New York, you should have heard of the Flashcubes. They were formed in 1977 out in Syracuse, New York. Okay, they only lasted in their first run about 3 years, from about 77 till 1980. And I'm telling you, they're one of the finest rock and power pop groups of all time. They have a little bit of rock and punk influence to them, but it's all blended together in a wonderful, wonderful melodic sound. I think you'd love it. The four members are Gary Frenet on bass and vocals and songwriting, Artie Lennon on vocals, guitar, and songwriter, Paul Armstrong on guitar, singer and songwriter also, like Artie and Gary, and then Tommy Allen is on drums and does some of their production work. Fabulous. They're all great singers, great songwriters. These guys came so close to major stardom, it's a shame. It's a shame. And as I hold this, I'm going to show their only released vinyl full album that I know of. It's called Brilliant. I'll hold that up for a little while, a change of scenery. Okay, they came so close to major stardom. These guys played with bands like the Police, the Ramones, Pat Benatar, the Romantics, the Jam, the Runaways, Joe Jackson. I could go on and on about the other rock acts out there that these guys opened for and played with on the same bill. Now, after 1980, they kind of disappeared. They really kind of went their own ways and did their own things, formed different bands and whatnot. Then about 1992, they got back together, and they wanted to release some new material, write some new material, do some shows, and so what they've done is, since 1992, they've recorded some new stuff. They've released some of their old demos, some of their old recordings that never made it onto an album. Again, they released a few singles back in their heyday, so to speak, from 77 to 80, but they never compiled a complete album. Well, they started doing that with some CDs back in the early 90s and working up to today, and I'll show you some of those. And they still occasionally perform today, folks, not as much as they used to in 2018, but a couple times a year they will get together. They've been inducted into the Syracuse area or Western New York Music Hall of Fame. They're just one of the greatest bands I've ever heard. So let me show you some of their stuff really quick, and maybe you'll think about getting into them. So the first thing they really put out is, after they got together in '92, they recorded a couple of new songs, and they put out this compilation of some of their older stuff, their earlier singles and B-sides and unreleased stuff, and some live stuff. It's called the Flashcubes Bright Lights. Okay, there's the CD. I hope you can see it okay. Yeah, there you go. And here's the back. A real nice selection of songs. Lots of good stuff on here, folks. They released that. Then over the ensuing years, as I said, they've released things like, they have this one, Rockin' Over Japan, or Live in Japan. They're very big in Japan for some reason. They're like superstars over there. They've been over to Japan on a few tours. and they've sold out venues, and people go nuts and scream, and the young people just get into it. And this is a CD of one of their shows over there. My God, you should hear this. There's just, the people are so into it and screaming and yelling, and the band's into it. And this is one of the most rocking live albums I've ever heard. The Flashcubes. Officially, it's called. Really, was it in English here? A lot of Japanese writing. The Flashcubes Live in Japan, Raw Power Pop. Live in Japan, Raw Power Pop. Okay. Then they released this. It's called Rockin' Over Japan, but it's not really live. It's basically an EP of some like unreleased B-sides and singles and whatnot that you can't get. And they do some great covers on here. They do a Raspberries cover of Don't Want to Say Goodbye, a Bay City Rollers cover. Just great stuff. A little extra EP that I picked up. A few years ago, they also did a tribute album to Roy Wood of The Move and early ELO. It's called Sportin' Wood, a tribute to Roy Wood, the Flashcubes. Okay, see that? That's fairly recent, within the last 5 to 7 years. Again, they released, as I said, their only full-length album of new material. Came out in the early 2000s, called Brilliant. I have the CD and I have the vinyl. Great stuff. And if you want to get into them, the best thing to get, folks, for you newbies out there for the Flashcubes, this just came out last year in 2017. It's a double CD set called Flashcubes Forever. Okay, here's the back. And it's got the best of everything, folks. I can't stress enough, you need to check this out. Get out of the way. And then it opens up here. 2 CDs. All right. Folks, this is the one to get. I recommend. You can get it through their website. You can get it, just plug it in your search engine, Flashcubes Forever CD or whatever. Short money. This is very inexpensive. It's a double CD. You get 2 big packages here of tons of music. There's tons of songs on here, like 30-something songs. And one of the CDs is like their best of, all live. It's a live concert. And this one is all like their B-sides, rare stuff, new recordings that they've done recently, a couple of new Chris Spedding songs they've done. It's just fabulous. This is a good little cornucopia introduction to the Flashcubes if you want to get into them. Okay? It's called Flashcubes Forever. Please check it out. All right? So that's it, folks. I just want to say I love this band. I wanted to give a little love to Power Pop with my Utopia video the other day, and now today with the Flashcubes. And again, you're probably saying, who are the Flashcubes? And for me to come on here and make a complete video and say, this is one of my favorite bands of all time. I'm talking, I love the Beatles, Cheap Trick, the Kinks, the Ramones, Elvis, yada yada yada. I can go on and on about all the artists I love, Buddy Holly. But when I tell you I put these guys right up there with all my favorites, that's saying a lot. That's telling you a lot. So please check out the Flashcubes. You won't be sorry. Get Flashcubes Forever, or get the fairly new Brilliant album, and you tell me that they're not worth having, okay? These guys are that good. They should have been superstars. They should have been big time, but it's like anything else. Not everything goes the way it should go sometimes in life, and in their case, things just didn't fall their way to be major international stars, but they should have been. So go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go online, check them out, the Flashcubes. Thanks, folks. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I sparked you to maybe go listen to some Flashcubes and let me know what you think. Take care, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.